Hey guys, so today I thought I would share with you the books that I am considering unhauling. So if you don't know, unhauling just means getting rid of, and I've done a couple unhauling videos in the past. But these books I'm not set on getting rid of. I waver back and forth a lot, but for the most part they're on this list because I've either owned them for a while or the recent purchases that I'm iffy on, or really they just aren't grabbing my attention. So I thought I would share them with you so that I could get your opinion and your feedback and see if any of them are worth keeping and reading. So make sure if you've read any of them and you liked them or you hated them or if they were okay, make sure you let me know. I've been reading Goodreads reviews off and on about all of them, but even refreshing myself on all of the synopsis, it's still not grabbing my attention. So I have quite a few. Let's just get right into it. So the first few books that I want to talk about are a trilogy, and that is the Burn for Burn series by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. I think I have them in the right order. Burn for Burn, Fire with Fire, and Ashes to Ashes. This is a series I've owned for quite some time, and I owned the box set of, and I'm sure I have the box sitting here somewhere. And I've read a couple of Jenny Han's other books. I read the first book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I tried to read To All the Boys I've Loved Before, but I could not get into it. So I don't know if I'm just past the age where this would appeal to me. I'm 21 now, because I know it's like a revenge, gossipy kind of teen angst one is what I've gathered from it. So I'm not sold on reading it, but I'm not convinced to get rid of it either. I have two bargain books that I'm kind of iffy on. The first one is Dancing with Molly by Lena Horowitz. This kind of sounded like it had Ellen Hopkins vibes, and I love Ellen Hopkins books. So it's about a girl that goes to a party and she tries drugs for the first time, and it completely changes who she is as a person. But it sounded interesting to me at the time. When I was in the bookstore, I wanted it right then and there, and it was on cheap, so I had to pick it up. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, okay. I know if I got rid of it, I would want to read it at that point, but it has mixed to low reviews on Goodreads, so because I have so much experience reading drug-related novels, I'm afraid my expectations are going to be too high for this book. So if I'm convinced to read it, then I totally will. And then I also have Us by David Nichols. This is a recent one that I purchased, I think. I didn't read One Day, which is one that did appeal to me, but when I saw it was the same author and it was hardcover and it was on for $8, the book buyer in me had to do it. I don't even know what this book is about. I've never once read the synopsis. I think I was just drawn to it from the author, which I shouldn't have done because I haven't even read one of his other books. But again, mixed to low reviews on Goodreads. And I have These Broken Stars and This Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This one I'm leaning closer towards keeping. So I started reading These Broken Stars on a flight home from New Brunswick a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. And I only got like a quarter of the way through, but I was reading it on my iPad. I was into the story, but not sucked in. And I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but since this, I've read Illuminae by Amy Kaufman. Loved it. One of my favorite books, even Gemina, the sequel, loved it. So I think that's why I'm leaning more towards keeping it. Sorry, the glare. I think that's why I'm leaning more towards keeping it, and they're gorgeous. So this one has really high reviews. I'm probably going to give it another chance, but if I do, I'll probably wait till the winter. But I don't know. So then I have Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I was at BEA when this book was being released, and it was all the hype, and everybody wanted it. So I purchased it because I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to like it. Since then, I have read two of her books. I read Eleanor and Park, which if you've been with my channel for a while, you know I read it. Mixed feelings about it, didn't rate it. But then I read Fangirl, and I loved Fangirl. But this is her adult book, and the plot doesn't draw me in at all, so I don't know if it's the age and if I should hold on to it and wait until I'm older to appreciate it and kind of understand, but I'm also slowly working my way into adult books, so I don't think it'll take me that long to get there. So I don't know how I feel about her writing because I have had such opposite ends of the spectrum with her books. So I don't know if this is the one that I want to give a third chance. You know what I mean? it's hard to explain. And I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is one of the books that has been on my TBR for the longest, without a doubt. It's lasted like 3 different moves, and I think it was even the first book that I bought off Book Depository, so it was one of the first books I'd bought online. But it doesn't draw to me. I've heard that it's a slow read, and I think that's what's deterring me, is that there's so many books that I want to read. I almost don't have the patience to sit and read slowly, if that makes sense. I have 100 and so books just on my own TBR alone, so I have no patience. I don't have the time, which is unfortunate, but I don't read a lot of circus books, so I don't know if that plot would appeal to me, but so far it doesn't. And again, it's another adult book, so I don't know if I'm just not quite there yet. But a lot of people have read this, so please let me know what you thought of it. The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Hand. I haven't read any of her books. I have owned a couple of them, like the Unearthly series, but I've ended up unhauling them through the years. This one is a YA contemporary about a girl named Lex whose brother commits suicide. It was that plotline that had originally drawn me in, but I think since then I've kind of steered away from the YA mental illness book. This one I want to read because I do want to do a whole recommended reads on mental illness, but I'm not sure where this one would leave and if it's worth reading. It's mixed reviews again, and I haven't heard too many people talk about it, so I don't know. The point of all of these is I don't know. So this last batch of books is the ones that I'm sure I'm going to hear the most about, and that is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I first read Cinder over 4 years ago, and it was one of the first books that I read and reviewed for Goodreads and for my channel, so it does have that nostalgia for me, but I read it so long ago, but I still remember not being totally into the story, and this was before any of the sequels had come out. I stopped buying the books after Crest because I wasn't convinced that I was ever going to pick this series up again, and although they have such gorgeous covers and colors, I've never been quite sold on the idea of like a robotic steampunky fairy tale. It is such a loved series in this community that I want to give it another chance, and I know I would have to reread Cinder in order to continue. But like I said, with a couple of the other books, there's so many other books that I want to get to, I hesitate because I have read it and because I didn't love it. But I have grown as a reader, so I'm sure my opinion would change, but I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you guys love it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll keep them. They are so pretty. So yes, those were all of the books that I might unhaul. I'll probably know for sure by the end of the year, and then I can update you guys, but I'll probably do an unhaul at the end of each season, just as I'm clearing through my shelves and preparing for the next one. I like to get opinions before I officially get rid of books, and these are the ones that I want the most help with because I am so unsure. So please let me know what you thought of them or anything else you want to add about any of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye!